his whole series involves lenticular covers.
Yeah.
By different illustrators.
Yeah.
What gives him the right? That's a joke.
The publisher wants to do that. They wanted to try this, and it turned out
it's almost like
working pretty good, you know.
Yours looks beautiful. Wow, that's a full range of motion. I'm going to get it in closer now.
Okay.
That's silly. Why not? So I'm right up. This has got like a macro lens on it, so we can get a sense. So 3 different paintings.
Yeah. And to get it to work where it's kind of smooth looking.
Yeah.
I had done some animation back in the 80s. Oh. I did a little bit of animation for Coca-Cola. I did like 10 seconds for Coca-Cola's 100th anniversary or something like that. And I did like a designer here in Dallas was doing a program for him, and he picked different illustrators around Dallas, and we were each doing like about 10 seconds of animation. And my 10 seconds of animation was about 40 drawings.
Yes.
So I remembered when I was doing this cover, it was like, to make it smoother looking, I shortened this time down to like less than 1 second in real time. If he would have been swinging a bat, it was like less than 1 second.
Yes.
So I figured I could, and I could only do 3 paintings. That's all they would allow me to do.
That's all they wanted to pay for?
Yeah, that's all they wanted to do was like 3 paintings. So I did the 3 paintings, and I shortened it down to like less than 1 second in actual real time happening, you know, if he was swinging a bat. And it ended up working out where it was like a pretty smooth action there, where it wasn't real choppy looking.
It's very smooth.
Yeah.
To get
turned out good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for stop action with 3 images, that's amazingly smooth. Now, did you use movie reference, or how did you figure that out, the swing?
I did. When I first started doing research on this Willie Mays book, I probably spent at least 2 months just on the computer most every day, looking up photos of him.
Yes.
Looking up biographies of him. And I mean, he was playing baseball when I was a kid, and he was like one of my favorite baseball players. So I knew about a lot about him already.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just went to different websites and found photos of him, and you know, when you're doing historical books like this,
yes,
you have to be really careful with copyrights
on photos.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Because all those old
They're
sports
brands.
photos, they either belong to Sports Illustrated, they belong to New York Times, they belong to Life magazine. So what I have to do is, I have to take, maybe there was a pose of him, you know, with his bat back, ready to go.
Yes.
So I couldn't just draw that, because that's all copyrighted. So what I would have to do is I would have to get a baseball bat, and I would like look in the mirror or look in a window or something, see anything to see my reflection, and I would like lower the bat down a little bit.
Change the image.
And you know, change the way he was posed, and do it myself, you know, and then draw that.
I'll be darned.
So yeah, I have to be really careful about copyright things.
Because these are well photographed celebrity moments.
Yes,
all these
they are.
They're not just. Man, I hope the illustrators listening will get that. That's a big deal.
Yes, you've got to be really careful. Like, there's a book that I'm going to start working on at the beginning of the year, and it's about Joe DiMaggio. But we're tying in Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak with what was going on. World War II had already started in Europe. But over in the U.S., you know, it was like the summer of '41. So things were starting to heat up, and there were newspaper headlines about things going on over in Europe, things that were kind of starting to happen over here. So we're kind of like tying in the historical things with World War II, and the same time with Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak that summer. So I was having to find headlines, newspaper headlines, of what was going on. I can't put the exact headline because it's copyrighted by the newspaper. So I would have to take the essence, of the headline, rewrite it myself.
You couldn't paint a likeness of the headline as it appeared.
No, I couldn't paint a likeness of the newspaper either. I'm going to have to make up my own kind of newspaper-looking thing.
Create your own.
Yeah. So you have to be really careful.
Do you change the wording of the headlines too?
I do.
You do, because it has to be.
But
different.
I keep what the basic idea of what the headline is. I might change a couple of words.
Is your publisher really a stickler about this sort of thing?
Because when I tell them like, hey, this is all copyrighted stuff, and they know it's copyrighted too.
They're savvy.
And I tell them like, I'm rewriting this, but this is actually what happened this day, but I'm rewriting this, and they're like, yeah, fine, we don't want, they don't want any copyright things going on.
They're all for that.
That's right, yeah. So
now, how did the Willie? Let me anchor this camera here. This is an example of my inimitable camera works, my camera style, which is all right. But now I'm grounded. The difference between working on the Willie Mays book and the Lou Gehrig. I mean, you've done several baseball books.
Yeah,
you've done.
It's been an accident.
Yeah.
Because I never was even trying to do picture books. That all happened by accident.
How did that happen? How did that accident happen?
An editor had been seeing my work for years, my other freelance work, and she called up, I guess it was in 95 or 96, and I'd been illustrating since 81 on my own. So she'd been seeing my work and she'd been watching it and everything. And she called up and she said, would you be interested in doing a picture book? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, I'll send you a manuscript. She didn't tell me what it was. She goes, I'll send you a manuscript. You read it. If you want to do it, then, we'll work something out. So it was like Lou Gehrig.
It was the Lou Gehrig story.
It's like Lou Gehrig's story, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I called her up, I said, yeah, I'll do this. And so that's how I got started doing picture books.
But it was not. Was it done in? It was not done in your painterly acrylic style.
No, it was done in the temper